So, hi, Melanie.
Hi, Maria.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to have an Expecting Miracles conversation. I'm really happy. I have found you on the Customer Advocacy Network as one of the top 100 CMAs, and I'm so happy that we connected straight away. And because this month it's March, and it's a month dedicated to women, I really would love to learn a little bit about you and the amazing work you do in your work or you used to do in your work. So it would be just great if we can talk a little bit about the communities. So I wanted to start and ask you, what's the Global Women's Inspirational Network?
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me here, Maria. A pleasure meeting you online. So this is the great thing about online spaces. Yes, the Women Inspirational Network is an employee resource group here at Citrix Cloud Software Group, and where we provide opportunities for diverse members, not only women, anybody that want to join us, and just connecting, inspiring, empowering one another in a safe environment, right? So anytime we meet, we can talk about your personal goals, professional issues that you're having, and so on, and building that kind of community that we want, right? That you can trust us and so on. Our values are equity, empowerment, and inclusion. So we strive for that.
Amazing. And were you at the beginning of it or you became a part of it? How did it all start?
Kind of on the middle, right? Because I mean, I started at Citrix in 2014 and the group had started before that, right? It was one of the first employee research group at Citrix, so which is really powerful. But again, it was just a group of women just meeting. The main group started in Fort Lauderdale and California, where our main headquarters are, and then just started meeting, monthly, talking like we're doing right now, just a normal chat during lunch, and then they started planning, bigger events. And then they were expecting 50, 100 people. And they put a name to their group, the Woman Inspirational Network. It's easy because everybody remembers WIN. And for our
Yes, Win. I love
communication,
the name.
yeah, we call our winners, so it's pretty easy. And then in other areas, they started doing the same. You're talking about we had Greece, India, Costa Rica, so everybody started doing their own thing. And I like it because in the pandemic, we all kind of came closer, right? Because I mean, everything was virtual, so now the doors were open for us to include different events and including almost all of them. So that was a good thing. And right now we are going through the process of just starting from ground zero because, like I mentioned to you in our conversation, we're going through mergers, acquisition, team have changed so much here in the last couple months. So we're just starting as brand new, I'm glad we were able to still keep the name. So we're still going to be called Win in Cloud Software Group. And then we're just trying to meet people, right? For tomorrow, for International Women's Day, we're
Oh,
definitely, yeah, tomorrow is. So we're
yes,
going to
I
do,
know.
yes, I know, time flies. So then tomorrow, we're just going to gather everybody just to have lunch, even if it's 10, 15 people. I want to start with people that really want to hear from us, right? So that way, the creating that trust in that community.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it's a wonderful launch, really, again, right? Like after the merger, you are becoming one of the ambassadors and you are kind of spreading the win also to the global network, which you guys are having now. So I find this amazing. And good luck on celebrating Women's Day. Last time I was watching some of the Citrix videos. They are very powerful from the last Women's Day. So I really loved how you were able to kind of dive deeply on many of the difficult and important conversations. I know that on one of the meetings you were also talking and you were writing blog about it. You were talking and touching the topics of gender biases. So I wanted to have kind of your opinion on these and what are they and which one affects you most personally or which one did you personally experience? This is always
Yes.
interesting to have that personal spin.
Yes, yes. And I know that was from last year about break the bias, right? That was the
Yes.
hashtag for last year. This again, it's embrace equity. So the same, right? For me, when I talk about the blog, it's basically that I think by working at a software company, I am breaking the bias of just
Mm.
because people don't think women are part of tech, right? Not everybody, of course, not us, but I'm saying like a lot of people are like, no, woman shouldn't be represented here, right? So the beginning of my career, I was a little bit anxious, because I'm not programming skills. I don't know the lingo. So that was really, scary. At some point, I'm like, what am I doing at this meeting? Right. But then with the years and with great mentors, I
Mhm.
understood that we bring a different perspective to the table, right? So, I
Mhm.
mean, in most of my meetings, I am the only woman, right, at the table. So, at the beginning, of course, I didn't want to say things because I'm like, if nobody's saying them, then it's a given that they know about this. But then I brought, no, this is what I'm bringing to the team, right? For my team specifically is creating those special connections with our customers. That's how we met with customer marketing, and just making them sure, like, hey, but I know they're representing a company, but they're a person behind that, right? So I mean,
Mhm.
for
Exactly.
executives, sometimes that it takes a little bit. So that's where I say I bring my expertise to the table. So I'm happy that I was able to find that ground that now I can say, yeah, I work at a tech company, and I'm techie, so that's been good.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And is there anything other which comes to your mind in terms of the biases? This has been one aspect which I feel like I started in tech 20 years ago and it was still a topic. Now I think it's getting better and better, but it's still a topic. I feel that women, when they are making a career choices, tech wouldn't be the number one choice, because it just wouldn't, even though there are some women who are very techy at the beginning, who love mathematics and they would pursue the path. But I think this is more about women who are not so technical at the beginning. They can still do many, many amazing jobs in the tech companies, I believe. Like we are
Yes.
working in the customer marketing field, customer advocacy field. I feel this is a space where women thrive.
Yes, and I totally agree with that. And that's how been, again, we talk about biases, right? I feel like the more that we talk about them, even, for us, it's religion, is gender, is socioeconomic. For me, it's been helpful just to talk about them so that way I can learn why sometimes a team member reacts away, right? And that way, hopefully, when I become a leader, or I can tell my leader, hey, let's bring a more diverse team, a different perspective. So that's how I've been learning from my biases, because we all have them, from our traditions, our family. So it takes time, I mean, but we're getting there. But going back to your question about the community, the customer
Yes,
marketing aspect,
yes.
I really think that we bring that other point of view, right? Like I mentioned before, I feel that for us, it's really important putting the customer first. And
Mhm.
sometimes in programming, I'm not saying all the time, they just think, oh, it's just, a code that we need to fix and that's it. For me, and it's helped me in my programs, but also at Win, right? It's creating that connection with the people, not with 100 people, right? But I'm saying like from my customer advisory board meetings, right? There's 30 members. I mean, I'll say with half of them, I create that relationship that I remember important things, right? About them, about a hobby, about kids, about movies, like something that connects me with them and that I
Mhm.
can bring it up in conversation. Because I mean, don't you like it when somebody
Oh my
remembers
gosh, I
something
love
that is important to you?
it.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely love it, and I absolutely think it's crucial. And I feel like even when we are working for a business or in business, we come as a whole person. I come there as Maria, and I do have a family, and I do have a specific background. I do live in Czech Republic, so that all comes with me to the meeting. So I definitely love to, yes, tackle the business part, but also be able to connect on the personal level, just getting to know them, putting the customer first, because I feel like they would be much more willing to go and jump into also other advocacy activities, right? Is that the case?
Yes, and that's what I was going to tell you. That's what I try to tell my executives is like with that relationship, because again, it takes time to build that trust, but you're right. Then it's not just going on a blank, target list of, oh, let's see who wants to present with us at a keynote or talk with a reporter or, be in an article. It's like, I know the people that are good at those things and that they want to do it for their career development. So that's how I try to incorporate it on, oh, I know somebody that is really good at talking with a reporter. And that way they can see that it's a win-win because of course they're helping us, but then hopefully it's helping them in their career. So that's how I feel like it's super important for them to see that, hey, I have your back too, right? So, I mean,
I love
so
that.
that's why I think it's so important for customers. And the same thing for employees, right? Like going back to Win, with all this mergers and acquisition, I mean, we've had just meetings on like, I just want to check with them. Hey, how are you feeling? Because I mean, these couple months have been hard for everybody. So it's just like making sure that they know that this is confidential. The good thing is like we're from different teams. So it's me from product marketing, but we have HR, we have finance. So I feel like when they know that they're not reporting into their same teams, right, that they can be a little bit more open when they create that trust. But I was like, hey, I'm not promoting for anybody to leave, but be ready with your resume. Let's think about the process if you're let go, if you're not let go. Like just talking about real issues, right? Or
Mhm.
having a new manager, like how do you work on that? So I really feel that it's important to build that trust.
Oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. So what I hear is from the Women International Network, WIN. What are you doing is really like creating that safe space for women to connect and to support each other, but maybe not just only women, other members are welcome as well. But it's a safe space where you can really tackle real issues. I know you had one, you were talking about the one which you had during COVID, but now because Citrix went through a major acquisition, it's a different period for the company. So being able to just chat and connect, it's very important.
Yes, yes, definitely. And I do feel because it's important for people to just know other people. Again, we're just coming back to the office, full time. And again, there's so many people that you see on webcam and you don't know that they're the person you're emailing them, right? So I told like my team, and to the other, groups and other regions, I told them like for me is baby steps. Like I don't want to create, a big event. Oh, let's invite 100 people and then nobody follows up with them, right? So I mean, for me, that lunch that we have tomorrow, I'm inviting, 30 people. So hopefully I'll be happy with if we have 10 or 15. I always, we strive for a big number, but for me, it's like, if we can change one person, I'm
Yeah,
okay with that. So, it's not
gosh, I love
it's not
that.
the quantity. Yeah.
If we can change 1%, that's enough. That's
Yes.
important already.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. And what was your proudest moment for the win?
For the win, so I'll say, of course, International Women's Day planification. I mean, we've had, external speakers, internal speakers throughout the years. Like I said, that last one, during the pandemic, we've done two, right? It was really good because all the geos were working together. We had Sandy Carter from Amazon back then, so it was a big thing. We had online, I think it was over 300 people. So it's just
Oh,
good because, webinar, everybody can, cancel at the last minute, but we've had professional headshots at the office. Everybody likes that because everybody needs a professional headshot. But again, volunteer work and all of that. But the latest one that I did last year was with Girls Who Code. I was part of their panel. And it
nice.
was just really, um, I felt like they empower me because I mean, just hearing from young girls that they already want to pursue this on STEM, it's just amazing. Like I wish, like I told them, like I wish, like I could go back in time, and maybe, study something in STEM because I do think there's a lot of opportunities. So just seeing their passion, and wanting to learn more about our world and you needing help with the resume is just it empowers you in seeing like how much more years they have to experience this and you want to give them all your knowledge now so they can hopefully take your advice and then just go for it.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, we are doing something similar here in the Czech Republic. I
Uh-huh.
was doing something similar, and it was just so important to connect with these young women because you can provide them the real life experience. Like you
Mhm.
are the interface of what it is being in a real tech, huge tech company. So I think for them is also to see that there are women a part of are you know, at the table, having conversation, their opinion matters, they can do a difference. I think it's very validating for both sides, you know, from you and also from them. So I love these Girls to Code activity and initiative. And you
Yes. And
also
that way they
mentioned,
can see somebody, oh, sorry, they can see somebody like you, right? So, I mean, they can relate and they can say, oh, like I can look like that, you know? So, I mean, that's also something for me that, especially minorities, you know, that they can see I'm Hispanic. So
absolutely,
I can,
absolutely. I so much remember I was a Microsoft new hire out of university, and seeing the women on the stage being represented was like, oh my God, I want to be that one day. It gave me that hope. It gave
Mhm.
me that vision that this is a great place for me to be, and this is a great place for my career to start. And as you said, representation from different backgrounds, it's so important. And I'm happy that you're doing this. It's so exciting. And I have one question for you. So
Mhm.
if we're talking about young women, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Yes, that one I'll say to travel more. Like I'll say I feel like the experience, I mean, I'm meeting you from Czech Republic. I would love to go there, right? But I mean, going to another country and just like verifying the culture. Like I feel like somebody can tell you that they went somewhere, but until you're there, until you're like using their transportation, their language, their you know, exchange rate, like I mean, you're actually there and then they that also gives you, you know, like, oh, I like, you know, the flexibility that I have at home, or, oh, maybe I would like to fly somewhere. So I just think that the possibilities of you just learning about different cultures, it's, it's, it's humongous. So I feel like travel more, maybe go in STEM, like I mentioned before. I'll say also that if you don't have the right answer at this moment, it's okay. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out sometime. So it's not black and white. I think there's so much gray options in between that I would say, like, just sometimes accept, you know, those difficult projects when you can, just because you never know what doors are they going to open.
Mhm.
And I feel the last one it will be just remember to be kind. I feel like it's silly to say it, but I mean, I've seen a lot of people that are just like, you know, it's about work, of course, but it's how you present to each other, right? That there's kindness out there.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I would take all of your advices, even for my younger self, except of STEM. I don't think I could make it. But
Me too.
and Melanie, you have a special background, yeah, right? Like you are between US and Chile. How
Yes.
did that kind of influence your life and life choices?
It I think it did a lot. I mean, I'm originally from Chile, South America, and then I came here when I was 19 to the United States. I did all my college and, you know, started working here, got married. But I do feel like Chile is always in the back of my mind, right? So I mean, for me, is you're always going to compare, you know, both countries. Like, of course, we have a lot of more things in the U.S., but a lot of my people are in Chile, right? So
Mhm.
it's like it's always a give and take. But for me, it's bringing that perspective of like being grateful for things, right? Being grateful for what we have, being happy what is giving with us. And then also, like I said, just giving the opportunity to this tech world. Like I'll say to women that are thinking about a tech company, it has many opportunities. I mean, for me at least, I've been traveling around the US
Mhm.
explaining about my program, and I even had the opportunity to go to Singapore last year to present about the customer advisory board. So I would never have thought that, you know, somebody from Chile would be at Singapore presenting about, you know, a program that is marketing within a technology company. So I just feel like bringing that sense of humble, if you want to say it. And then for me is, I mean, I get things done. Like I just feel like innovation is key, but also execution. You need to prove that you're able to do not perfectly all the time. That's what I'm working on, but at least, you know, to good standards. Like,
Oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. And I'm so, yeah, I can relate because I'm also coming from you know, from Czech Republic. So being able to be in Singapore and be coming and meeting our clients in Singaporean offices, it was also something which I could never think of coming from Slovakia. But there I was, and it just felt really great. It just felt really great. And it's like you know, we can pass it on to next generations and to next women. It's like, okay, we can do it.
mhm.
can do it. You can do it. We can do it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you the last question. Expecting miracles. I named the show, I named the interviews because I really believe that I'm looking for leaders who have a purpose. So combining that purpose for the future and for the future generation, making the world a better place one way or another, you are one of them. And being able to kind of bring that Women International Network to life and being great ambassador and being great role model for the women and fighting for equality and kind of just neglecting all the biases or putting light on the biases so we are aware of them is just something which I really admire that you're doing. And my last question would be like, if you had that idea, like what is expecting miracles in this context, what would it be? What's expecting miracles for you?
Yes. So for me, I think that it's a mix of, the big miracles and the small miracles. For instance, just noticing the tiny little things sometimes. For instance, when my daughter shows me the color of a flower, right? It's just making sure that I'm present at the moment. So I consider that, a miracle just because I wouldn't stop and look at it. But also, the bigger miracles, like when you see somebody, like people helping a country in need, right? So for me, it's more about that paying it forward. I feel like it's our job to create that diverse, environment. And just, I think that it's important that we help people grow, even if we're growing ourselves, right? So, I mean, I'm growing myself, but I always try to see if there's anybody that needs help with their LinkedIn profile, like anything, anything. I feel like people have, values and that we can show and share, our knowledge that we've had or advice or how will we tackle a problem. Like, I just feel like the more friendly that we create this world is just the better, the one that I want to be on.
Thank you so much. And also for our kids, I feel, right? Like for the next generations, I think it just
Exactly.
connect with that.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
exactly. I want them to have a better future. And like, I just feel like sometimes we need to not act like kids, of course, but sometimes when I see them playing, in my mind, it just opens up like, why don't we do like, it's just like they don't even know their names. It doesn't even matter. It's like, hey, let's just have a good time or let's tackle this project. Like, we don't need to know what happened before, or after. Like, it's like, let's just be here in this moment present.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Melanie, so much for your passion and for your kindness and also for your purpose and for just you being you. It has been so great to meet you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to kind of wrap this up and just share it with the world.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm super honored. And, whenever you go to Santiago de Chile, you will have a place. And whenever I go to Czech Republic, I'll go visit you.
Absolutely. The doors are open. Mi casa, su casa.
Yes, I love it. Good.